What up? It's your boy Television. We're back for another one, man. Yo, Terrance Crawford finally came out and he made a couple of comments. In the interview, he said that, he wants all the PBC fighters because obviously every single, any kind of conversation that he has, they're going to be mentioning the PBC fighters because that's where all the competition is. That's where all the top guys in the division are. That's where all the names are, is with PBC. They fight on Showtime, they fight on Fox. So they ask him again, what's going on as far as when it comes to the PBC fighters and you being able to fight them. And his answer to that was that, that he's down to fight any one of them, that he's ready to fight any single one of them. You know what I mean? It's just that quote that, that both sides, are going to want to have to fight each other though. You know what I mean? And he said that, the promoters, they're not what's going getting involved when it comes to messing up the fights, that, they work for us, they work for us. And if we want to do a fight can be done. He said that, hey, you can sit there and sit down and say, yo, I'm not fighting until I get this particular fight. If I don't get this fight, I'm not fighting until I get it. Those are the words that he said. But it's contradictory to what he said just a couple of days ago and in the last couple of weeks, because Sean Porter's father said, yo, we want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? If we can't get Earl Spence, if we can't get Manny Pacquiao, then we want to get Terence Crawford. Sean Porter himself also said, he's like, yo, the main fights that he wants Porter. I mean, he wants Earl Spence, which Earl Spence obviously hurt. If not him, he wants Manny Pacquiao. He said the last result, though, is Terence Crawford. If he can't get those other guys, he said that he would fight Terence Crawford. We all know Bomac off the rip said, nah, the only person they want to fight is Earl Spence. That's what he had said. He said, Sean Porter's no way, it's not happening. Bob Arum said that's not a marketable fight, that he's not paying for the fight. He said he's not paying for anybody except for Earl Spence. We get down to Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford says he's not going to fight Sean Porter. He says no one's going to make him fight Sean Porter. And that, quote, if he, quote, was going to fight him, that him and Sean Porter would have to get into a room, talk, and then work everything out themselves. And then do the fight, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, because you have networks. Sean Porter fights for a network. What's it called? You fight for another network. You're going to have to work as far where's the fight's going to be, venues, all that other stuff. You're not going to be able to do all that. If you were capable of doing all that other stuff, you wouldn't have been so re-signed with Top Rank. You just went out on your own and been a free agent. If you believed in yourself, anyway. But, obviously those other people would also have to talk as far as negotiating that. So, but that wasn't even the biggest thing. Because when it came to all this talk, I know it's just talk. I know the only reason, he's yapping like this and he's talking about them is because his fights with Mean Machines coming up. Fight with Mean Machines coming up. No one's talking about that fight. For all of you guys who don't know, the fight's next week. And I'm sure you might not know about it because people aren't talking about it at all. And then Top Rank ESPN is doing absolutely no promotion when it comes to that particular fight. And it's happening next week. So, the one thing that he's always been able to kind of use is this whole thing of, wanting to fight these other guys, wanting to fight the PBC fighters, wanting to fight Earl Spence. Because the Top Rank blueprint is you find somebody, you attach yourself to them, and then you sell your fights using the possibility of you fighting that fighter to sell your fights, to bring attention to your fights. But the only problem that's not working. People are not really kind of brushing it off. They're not, especially after him basically turning down the Sean Porter fight, people kind of just brushing it off. It gets to the point where people don't want to hear it anymore. People don't want to hear the excuses anymore. People want you to get it done. People want you to just make the fights. And that's not happening. So all the complaints that he's saying is falling to deaf ears, also due to the fact that when you had the opportunity to sign with somebody else where you can get all these fights, you chose not to sign with PBC. You decided not to sign with Al Heyman. You decided not to just go out on your own and be a free agent where you could have got these fights. He didn't even talk to anybody. They didn't talk to PBC. They didn't talk to DAZN. Bomac didn't even go out, get other offers, and then use those as leverage to get Terrance Crawford even larger a payday. He just negotiated a BS with them, got his 3.5, which sounds like a lot, but that 3.5 is nothing, man, especially when it comes to someone like a Terrance Crawford. Terrance Crawford, especially in this market, is worth substantially more than that. But he didn't understand his own worth, so he took whatever. But that's not really the thing that really got to me. What really stuck to me was the fact when he said, hey, these fights might never happen. These fights might never. The fight with Errol Spence might never happen because he's injured right now. He's not going to be healthy until next year. You know, the fight between me and these guys might never, ever happen. And I was like, why wouldn't they happen? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, your contract ends with, you know, Top Rank. So eventually, if Bob Arum can't get you those fights, you can always sign a PBCU or sign an Al Heyman or go out as a free agent. You have that ability to do that. Then I was like, hold up. This guy's not going to leave Top Rank. This guy's not going to leave Bob Arum. He intends to stay with Bob Arum, and he intends to stay with Top Rank regardless of what happens. Even with all the disrespect, even with him getting pissed on the way that he is, even with him not being promoted the way that he's supposed to be, even with them investing all this other finances and money into other fighters like a Lomachenko, like a Tyson Fury, putting all these other guys ahead of him, a Nui, soon to be also a Nui, he's still gonna just stay there as long as he gets his little 3.5, you know, minus 30% for Bob Arum and the 8% from his previous promoter. He's okay with that. He's all right with that. And I'm like, that's what I was thinking. And that's what I was actually going to do the video on. But then Bob Arum comes out and he's doing an interview. I think it was in the Boxing Voice. And he says, hey, when it comes to Terrance Crawford's contract, oh, he's extended, you know, past, you know, when he probably retires. He's extended past when he, you know, when he probably retires. That means Terrance Crawford is extended when it comes to Top Rank. Terrance Crawford isn't leaving Top Rank anytime soon. He's not, according to Bob Arum, he's not leaving Top Rank at all. He's 8 out. He's in trouble. What we're seeing right now, the meme machines of the world, the Benavides of the world, the Amir Khans of the world, this is Terrance Crawford's future. Terrance Crawford is going to be fighting nothing but low-tier fighters unless somebody comes up that is on Top Rank and they believe that they can build that fighter's name off of Terrance Crawford by him beating a Terrance Crawford. Terrance Crawford isn't getting any fights. Terrance Crawford is not fighting anybody. He's not going to be promoted, and he's going to continue to just shrink as a fighter. When it comes to popularity, notoriety, he's just going to continue to shrink. Because I don't know what he did, but according to listening to what both these people said, he's extended when it comes to his contract with Bob Arum. And he's not leaving basically for the rest of his career. He's basically done. Why he did this, I don't know. But it's over for that boy. It's a done deal, man. If you're looking into the future as far as getting big fights, things of that nature, he's not getting them. He's not getting them. And by the time he gets into a space where he can get a fight against, let's say, a Errol Spence, whoever it is that he fights is going to have so much leverage over him. Honestly, if that fight was even to happen, it ain't going to be able to happen on no ESPN. He definitely won't be getting any 50-50. He won't be getting 60-40. He'll be lucky to get 35-30% of that fight. And it will not be happening on ESPN because they have no need to do so. Whoever it is has other options, other things that they can do. So there's absolutely zero reason for them to give ESPN, Top Rank, or Bob Arum any kind of leverage whatsoever. So anybody that's looking for Terrance Crawford to fight any kind of meaningful fight in the near future, and then when I say near future, I mean the next 3-4 years, forget about it. It's not happening. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.